Part 2 of shading. So where my video died, I was creating the rest of this value scale. So I'm going to continue it because I'm not a quitter. But a lot of my students already figured it out without me, and I'm super proud of them. So I'm adding in the rest of those lines. See how light I'm getting? Looks like a dead guy's drawing. So I'm going to draw my lines nice and light. You did yours bad? I disagree. It's probably just not perfect. Oh, listen, it's 8 a.m., 9 a.m. now. Oh, okay. Hey, at least you're able to see where you messed up. I'll help you out with it. So I'm just adding some more layers to make it really dissolve and disappear. I think this is good enough for my value scale up there. It really does shift nicely. Way to go, Abigail. All right, now I'm going to work on my spheres. That's what these three-dimensional circles are called. They're called spheres, not what I was calling them earlier. So to create our sphere, one thing I noticed from those of you who already started, I like to start in the dark area because I have a dark soul. So I'm kidding. Those of you who are starting to do your spheres right now, no messing around, please. I like to start in the dark. Now you can see that the lines that I have on my sphere in the example are slightly curved. You don't have to always make your cross hatching be straight up and down. Now to get a rounded spherical form, a form is a three-dimensional shape. That's one of our elements of art. Sometimes drawing with a curved line is really going to help. So let me show you exactly how I succeed at spheres. All my students, are you watching my screen? Are you watching me be wildly successful? No, they're not. They don't love me. It's fine. You do. You're watching. Okay. I think they just don't care, and that's fine. This is one way to get started. You can see that the lines up at the top are slightly curved, and then towards the bottom they curve downwards like a U shape. Oh no, I'm starting to talk with my kindergarten teacher voice. I'm sorry. I'll go back into normal Bill. All right, so one thing I really like to do is a lot of layers. That makes me sound like a nerd. I don't really like doing layers. It just makes it look good. And I really care about my sphere looking good because I'm a try-hard. I'm going to keep trying hard. And now I'm going to start really close to the edge of my sphere and get that blending so it looks like there are no gaps between where that circle that I drew for you is at and where my blending begins. And you can see I'm already starting to fade, and yes, I am going to have to make this darker, but starting with a base tone of gray to light is a really good beginning, and then letting it get super duper light as if a happy little sunshine. Oh, cool sunshine. Let me give him some sunglasses. Remember this guy? My sun is on this side, so it's casting light on my sphere, which is why the shadow is going off towards the right-hand side of the paper. That's why the right-hand side of my sphere, our sphere, your sphere, is darker than a mofo. Let's go. So I'm starting to press down hard because I am strong. I am woman. Hear me roar. Okay. Darker at the bottom, but not everywhere. If you look really close, that's not a mistake. I left it light there at the bottom because how many of you are in photography right now? Who's in photography? Have you guys heard of bounce light on a thing? So when bounce light is when you have an object sitting on a light surface. the light surface reflects its light onto whatever object you have, and it creates bounce light. And that's a really awesome thing that we can use in photography, which is a form of art, that we can enhance our photographs and make it look really nice. You use the light in the environment around you to make something look more three-dimensional and more rounded and more pops out. I'm going to give a shout out to my mom, who sometimes watches these videos. Hi, Mom. Her name's Julie. She's really nice. And you know who else needs a shout out? Kenny. Who knows Kenny? Kenny watches all my videos. Hi, Kenny. Happy Halloween. Okay, so I'm not getting as dark as my other sphere, so I need to start stepping it up. Time for me to press a little bit harder. Look at the difference it adds when we add the darkness. And you're like, you just like drew over all the lines that you worked really hard for. No, it's about layering. Again, we're using a Prisma-colored pencil, and Prismas are the elite pencils. Prismas are my favorite colored pencils. I will talk crap all day about Rose Art. If you're still using Rose Art, then you're not living. So we should move on from Rose Art and Crayola at this point. And you should ask your parents for Prisma-colored pencils for Christmas. Next semester, we're going to work more on color blending with colored pencils. We've been doing a lot of black and white stuff. So it's time for us to move on to using color, right? So you guys can see how long I've spent on this. I've been drawing this for about 6 minutes. And a lot of you whipped through this in 2 minutes and you said, I'm done. It looks bad. And I'm like, well, I mean, let's like go over it again. Let's go over it some more. You got to keep on going. You can't quit. It is going to look lighter on my left-hand side, so I'm not adding as much detail over there. And I'm cleaning up my lines and my edges and making sure all the blending is going to the edges. And that everything is nicely disguised. All my lines look like they belong there. Nothing looks out of place. I'm going to leave that sphere alone because it's not as dark as my example. But I'm getting tired and we need to move on. So I need to move on to my shadow. A lot of you did not want to do the shadow. So I'm leaving a little nice light area at the bottom, and I'm starting to just draw really heavy here because my shadow is very hard and dark. Side to side lines first. Then I'm doing diagonals. And I want that shadow to really look like it's blending outwards and not like that it's just a flat oval. This is actually called an ellipse. It's like an oval, but it's really far stretched out. It's going to help it look like our sphere is sitting in a three-dimensional space. So I'm going to now call this quits. I'm kidding. I'm going to keep going. All I would do all day long was just keep on adding more layers to this, especially if it was something I was getting for a grade. So, but I am going to stop now. So don't forget, those of you who are in my class right now, to take a picture of your value scale, cross-hatching, and your sphere and submit it to our assignment in week 12. Can you believe we're in week 12? I can't.